So Gavin, what advice would you give to someone starting in digital accessibility?
So I honestly think that it's so important that people realize like what it's for, and it's for people that are like going through something that they have really no control over, and that they need all of the resources and help that they can get. It's really not about doing it for your organization. It's not about doing it for like a broad group like organizations. It's about doing it for the individual. It's about doing it for the person that actually needs it, and it's not about just fulfilling a requirement. I think that's what's so important about digital accessibility, and so important about making sure that the person is heard and is able to consume this content without like having any barriers.
I think to your point, it is a lot about the individual. Like everyone is not going to have a disability. Some may have one disability, some may have multiple disabilities. So you really do have to think about that, how everybody's going to struggle with different things. So you just have to be ready for anything and accommodate to everybody.
The great way that you put it.
Is there an accessibility feature or design system that has helped you personally?
Absolutely. I think that we can all kind of agree that captions are pretty useful. I, for a very long time, have used captions, like even just watching Netflix or YouTube or whatever. It's just become part of my daily routine. Then you start thinking about like, what if this wasn't available, and like I would be fine. I would be able to still consume media, be able to still enjoy my favorite types of movies and things. But if that wasn't a feature, there's so many people that wouldn't be able to. And so sometimes I take that for granted, but it's also like these organizations, especially at the state level, have really started taking it more seriously. And like, for instance, Microsoft, with Microsoft Teams, they do auto captioning, which is great. And like a lot of organizations are incorporating that. Yeah, I think that captioning in general is something that I use and sometimes take for granted.
Yeah, me too. I use captions all the time.
Yeah. So why are you passionate about digital accessibility?
That's a big question. I think, again, just because there are so many people that may have a disability, and disabilities aren't something that you have to disclose. So somebody could be struggling with something that you don't know, and they might not ever tell you. So it's kind of, advocating for those people that are struggling. And I think it's good to help people, it makes you feel good, and it makes them feel seen and heard to be able to use the things that you are able to use easily. So I think that's why I'm passionate about it.
I think that's a great way of putting it.
Do you have any examples of something accessible that helps everyone?
Yeah, Adobe has done a really good job with that. I know it's a kind of a paid service, but they have such a list of accessibility tools that you can use within that service that help so many people. Like us at the DIR, we just currently are using the Adobe Acrobat Pro accessibility tool, and that allows for thousands of documents to be able to be remediated and to be able to be seen and consumed by people that, like, without it wouldn't have been able to. And I think that's so important. And even if it is like a paid service, it's a great service. And I think that a lot of different organizations are using these different tools, and they make it really easy. They've streamlined it, and that's a great jump and bound, like from what we've seen in the past.
Yeah, and it's getting better every day.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm excited about that.
Sure.
So we're going to talk about House Bill 5195.
Sure.
What was your biggest win with that project?
Yeah, so the web modernization is super important, and the DIR has taken it very seriously. I think our biggest win, right now, we're actually in the process of making our own design system that we're going to be able to publish to like pretty much anyone that is able to consume it. And so that is something that was a huge win. We worked with a lot of different people to create this design system that you're able to put it right into your CMS. You're serving data, or if, for instance, if it's your web page, or if it's like on like a team site or whatever, you're able to just put this design system right in, and it really works out very well. I think that it was so rewarding to be able to, we have components, we have a full design system that's accessible, that's going to be able to be implemented by, a lot of organizations, Texas state agencies that would have never been able to have access to these components and this design system that will help so many people and, make it look very pretty as well.
Yeah. As DIR's Digital Accessibility Officer, how will you keep DIR in compliance for the Title II deadline?
We made a big push for the April deadline in 2026. We made a lot of changes within, like, internally, as well as like we developed software that was doing automated PDF remediation, as well as we did a lot of manual PDF remediation, thousands and thousands of documents. It was a huge effort, and extending off of that, I think that education is a huge part of our next steps, because we don't want to get into this position again where we have thousands of documents that need to be remediated. So I think that it's really important for all organizations to educate your users, your business customers. I think that's something that is really important for not getting into a position where you're scrambling to get all remediated for a deadline. And so every document, every PowerPoint that we're giving to customers or even internally needs to be accessible. And like we even said earlier, these tools are so easy to use. It's all about education.
Yeah, and I think another great resource is the statewide digital accessibility program. So many resources on there. Marie is a great resource. Everybody that is in the Teams community, it's a community of 300 plus people that you can ask questions to. So I think that's also a great resource.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Any lessons learned that you'd like to share in this project?
Yeah, I definitely learned a lot. Whenever we first started, like I said, the scope was huge, and being able to break down the problem into various steps and different types of digital accessibility. Like you can't clump together PDF accessibility with website remediation. Like they're two distinct problems, and so I think being able to realize that yes, they're both about making it accessible, but that doesn't mean that they're the same problem. My takeaway is that sometimes you need to ask for help. Like you can't, even as the digital accessibility officer at any organization, you're not going to be able to do everything on your own. You need to ask for help, and the experts really know it. And I think asking for looking for resources, and asking for help.
Yeah, I agree, absolutely. Yeah, take advantage of everything that's around you. Yeah.